Hey everyone. Trying to get organized. It's Karen Yankovich. I'm back again. Second broadcast today. The first broadcast I did was everybody was having trouble with my connection or a connection. Not sure if it's me or not, but I figured I would try for my iPad this time. So I'm going to kind of just chill out here for a second. Hello, Murat. Nice to have you here. Chill out here for a second and let's see who joins us. Because today what I'm going to do, this is very unscripted. We're just going to talk about LinkedIn. If you know me at all, you know that I am a massive LinkedIn evangelist. I love LinkedIn and I think it's really, really powerful for everyone. And I would love to help you all with your LinkedIn questions. So that's my intention to do today, to just kind of go through what I think is powerful about LinkedIn and take your questions about it. So let's start. Let's just get started. First of all, give me some hearts or comment anything and let me know if you're on LinkedIn, if you're using LinkedIn now. So send me some hearts if you're using LinkedIn. Nobody's using LinkedIn? Come on. Okay, so everybody that's using LinkedIn is in their car on their way home, maybe. I want to know if you're using it for your to look for a job, or if you use it to get clients. There's so many different ways you could use LinkedIn, and I guess I'm just going to talk a little bit about why. One thing that I think is really important, and that is it's your personal brand, right? In 2015, we want to know more about the people that we do business with. So we Google them, right? So Allison uses LinkedIn for general career networking. Hey, Allison, nice to have you here. So for general career networking, and she's got recruited on LinkedIn many times. That's awesome, and it's crazy how easy that is. The reality is that if you are giving anybody $5 of your money, they're going to check you out. They're going to throw your name in a Google search and they're going to check you out. And what's going to happen is your LinkedIn profile is going to come up. So I want you all, this is like your homework from this today, is I want you to go Google yourself, see what comes up. Your LinkedIn profile comes up. So it's your opportunity to tell the world what you want them to know about you. Right? So even if you have no use for it, if you have love all the loving here, love all the hearts. If you have if you're not looking for a job, you've got all the clients you need, you're settled where you are, you're more valuable to your employer if you have a great LinkedIn profile. So it's win-win-win. It's win-win-win if you have a great LinkedIn profile. So And then when people are doing business with you, again, even if you're at a job that you've been at for 20 years and you plan on being there for another 20 years, you do business with people. People use LinkedIn as a Rolodex, right? They leave it up all day long and they check out the people whose calls they have to pick up. So even if you're not looking for a job, not looking for clients, not doing any networking, it's really important for us to have a great LinkedIn profile, to tell the world what you're good at, the benefits of doing business with you, regardless if you are the person that answers the phone at the business. Imagine if you do business, like how many of us, we've all done business, right, with that company where you've talked to this person on the phone 1,000 times. Sherry, you're very welcome. You've talked to the person on the phone 1,000 times, and maybe it's the customer service rep, right? So it's somebody that you wouldn't think it's really important for them to have a LinkedIn profile. If I'm the business owner, I want every employee in my company to have a great LinkedIn profile, because my clients now that talk to these people day in and day out and previously had no way to know anything more about them, never even really saw their face, right? Just heard their voice on the phone. Often you know that their grandchild was born, you know that they had kids, you know what they did for the holidays, you talk to these people all the time, right? But we've never had an opportunity to know more about them. So there's so many hidden uses for LinkedIn. If all of your employees are using LinkedIn to let their strengths show, right? To create their personal brand, then people doing business with your business are going to value your business more because you're being so transparent with them. So that's just that's just for the people that say, I don't need LinkedIn. Everybody needs LinkedIn. And you know what? I'm a social media consultant. I don't think everybody needs Facebook. I don't think everybody needs Twitter. I think everybody needs LinkedIn. So does anybody here have any specific questions for me? Because I just keep talking about this forever. So Allison saying, what do you think about a good picture? Allison, that is a good question. And that is the very first thing I say. I think that it's 2015. You have an online brand. You need to get your hair done, put some makeup on, and get a great picture. Yeah, I think it's really, really, really important because it is, again, it's your personal brand. You're creating this personal brand, this persona, right? And you want to look awesome, right? And it's not just on your LinkedIn profile, it's across everything. You may have a picture on your website. You may have it, you may have it on, on your YouTube channel, whatever. It's really important to invest some money. I say have a party. I say hire a makeup artist, hire a hairdresser, hire a photographer, invite 10 of your friends over and get some great pictures of yourself. You might just use it on your Match.com profile, right? So it's every one of us needs great pictures. We're all online. I'm sorry, I'm like using my hands and it's bouncing this thing around. Sorry. I'm Italian, I talk with my hands. It's really important to have a great picture that really makes you shine. So Sherry's saying, what happens after you create your profile? Lots of things happen after you create your profile, right? So everything I'm going to talk about here assumes that you've already taken the time to do a fabulous profile, because that's really important. It's important to take the time up front to do a great profile. Once you have a great profile, you could use it in so many different ways. Sherry, give me an example of what you would be looking for with LinkedIn, what you would want to do with your profile. Are you looking for a job? Are you looking for clients? Somebody give me a for instance, or I'll just make one up. So let's say you have a great profile now and you're looking to, so you go to a networking event. Okay, so you go to a networking event, and when you come home from the networking event, you've got this pile of business cards that you typically don't know what to do with. I do not put the pile of business cards away until I've gone on LinkedIn and connected with all of those people that I've got the business cards for. Because now I've got a way to keep those connections that I made warm, right? So prior to this, you just kind of threw, you threw those cards in a pile and you say, I'll get to them. So Sherry, you're saying you're a newbie and you're looking for clients or building your reputation as a sales rep. So I'm assuming that you're doing some networking, right? So if you take that pile of business cards, okay, now when you meet these people, you say, hey, I'm Sherry, I'm in sales and this is what I do and this is what I talk about, right? But you don't say, I've won 50 awards. You don't say, I've closed $10 million in sales. That just kind of makes you sound like a jerk, right? But if the next day you connect with people on LinkedIn and your LinkedIn profile says all of those things, now they're going to be like, wow, I met that girl last night. She's a rock star. But not only that, we're not done yet, because what you can also do is when you connect with people on LinkedIn, there's a little tab that a lot of people don't know about, and it's in the contact section. You can create a tag for those people. So I live in northern New Jersey. I'm a member of the Mahwah Regional Chamber of Commerce. So if I go to a Mahwah Regional Chamber of Commerce event, I can come back, I can connect with the people I meet on LinkedIn. So you link with them, you send them a link, yes. But then on your end, you can tag that contact as a member of the Mahwah Regional Chamber of Commerce, and you can even put notes as to what the conversation was, right? You can say, we spoke about this. She might really be interested this in 3 months. She's got a kid that might want it, an uncle that might want it. Whatever you remember of the conversation, you can actually put notes in that contact. Only you can see this stuff. And you can create an automatic follow-up. LinkedIn will email you when you request them to email you to follow up with that person. So you sit down for half an hour after a networking event and you connect with the people whose business cards you have. You tag them with you create a tag for the name of the organization you were at. You tag them with it so you'll always remember. You put some notes in there. You say to LinkedIn, follow up in a week, follow up in a month or whatever, and you're done. You move on. And now you're going to keep those conversations warm. And if you're in sales, or I hope you know, that the fortune is in the follow-up. It's not because you met these people. It's that you stayed in touch with these people and you kept that network and that connection and that relationship warm after you met them. So that's just one way that you could use LinkedIn. And again, if your profile's awesome, all the better, because then what will happen is when they check you out the next day, when you've connected with them, they're going to be impressed with you. And that's what you want. You want to be impressive. So you've got to really create a profile that does that. So I meet people at stores and gatherings and give tags to those too. Perhaps you would have to determine. I'm a big fan of classifying every one of your contacts. How do you know them? Are they a lead? Where are they a lead from? Are they a friend, a relative, whatever? Like, the more information you can put in that contact, the better you're going to be able to follow up authentically. So you can create, I have multiple tags. I have tags. I have lots and lots of tags. If I speak at an event, I'll make a tag for the event that I spoke at. And then the next day when I connect with people, I'll let them, I'll say, this is where I met them, and they don't see this, only I see it, right? So it's really, really cool. It's a really cool way to use LinkedIn, and you almost can do it as like a customer relationship manager. It's free. All that's with the free version. It's not with the paid version. It's all with the free version. So that's just using it to keep track of the people you met. You can also use LinkedIn to meet lots of new people. You can use the advanced search feature. You can target so specifically to what you want to search for. It should be noted, though, that when you search, it will only search through your connections, so your first, second, and third degree connections. And obviously then, the more first degree connections you have, the more second degree connections you'll have, and the more third degree connections you'll have. So that's why it's important to not only have a great profile, but make a concerted effort to connect with a lot of people. Connect with me, for example. So if you connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm a pretty influential person on LinkedIn. I've got a ton of followers. So I want to read this. I've used LinkedIn for my corporate career and plan on shifting to include filmmaking. I'll get to that in a second, Allison. So if you connect with me, because I have thousands of followers, it's instantly going to give you thousands more second degree connections, right? So think about who you can connect with that can instantly beef up your network so that when you do those crazy fun searches, you have even greater reach. So Allison, you're shifting from your corporate career to a film career. That's one of the things I love we're not connected. That's crazy. That's one of the things I love about LinkedIn, because it's about you, Allison. It's not about your business. So it's your personal brand. So Sherry, get back to that question. Oh, you get it now. Okay, good. So it's about you, your personal brand. So talking about all the things you've done over the years only makes you a more interesting person. So you can put all the stuff you've done about your corporate career. I like to try to spin it so that it makes sense and builds up to where you are now. So if you're having a career in film now, then you want to, depending on what your angle is in film, let's just say, I don't know, whatever it is, if it's directing, you want to talk about in your previous jobs any skills that might be valuable to you as a director. Okay, so even though you weren't a director, you might have, exactly, Allison, tell us, story, build yourself up to where you are now. So go back and look at your previous experiences and see how you can rewrite them to substantiate where you are now. Even though authentically, I don't want you to make stuff up, but authentically build yourself up to where you are. You'll be surprised at how easy that is to do. An example is so you're a screenwriter and plan to be directing. Okay, so you would think about that and all of the previous experiences you have, and so you can be creative. Talk about your creativity in those other jobs. If you worked at McDonald's, talk about how creative you were, right? Like, it doesn't matter what the job is. Talk about what skills that you brought to that job that make you qualified for the job you have now. And think about it from a keyword perspective also. You want to make sure that when people that you want to find you are searching for something, that you come up as the search result. So use keywords really strategically in LinkedIn when you rewrite those that profile and in those other experiences, and use those keywords. So if director is going to be a keyword for you, find a way to throw that word in where you can in those previous experiences, right? So, I don't know how I'd have to really dig in to see it, but you would, an example for me is I was a few jobs ago, I owned a company. I was vice president of the company. We had like I don't know, 20 employees. So it was a small company. I was vice president of everything. I mean, there wasn't 10 vice presidents. There was one, and I did everything. But when you look at LinkedIn, if you can look at it, it was Infinity Communications Group. It says that I was the vice president of marketing and media. Marketing and social media are keywords for me. So while it's authentic, I recreated that experience and only leaned more heavily on, not only, but I leaned more heavily on the keywords that are important to me in my current position. So does that make sense? Send me some hearts if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, send me some notes and tell me what I need to explain. Does anybody else have any questions? Allison, good to see you. Enjoy your dinner. Anybody else have any specific LinkedIn questions I can answer here? Because I got some time. I can go for a little bit longer. No specific LinkedIn questions? Okay, so connect with me. I'll be back. I'll be doing this again. So Sherry, you have a specific question? If you do, type it in, and I'll keep going. But I'll be back doing this some more. I kind of wanted to get this one in again today because I'm still kind of getting the technical difficulties out with Periscope. So I want to do a couple of them to, to kind of make sure that I've got it down pat before I start promising people I'll be on at a specific time. So, hey, Montana, grilling Montana. Man, I'm hungry. It's dinner time in New Jersey, grilling Montana. What are you grilling tonight? Probably too far for me to come, but anyway. Grilling Montana, do you have a LinkedIn profile? And if you do, tell us about what you use. Tell us how you use it. If you go to my blog, by the way, I'm www.karenyankovich.com/blog. I have tons and tons and tons of LinkedIn blog posts. There's all kinds of information on my blog about LinkedIn. Like if you just go through all my blogs, you'll get all these questions answered and more. In fact, this week, I actually talked about it in the earlier Periscope. So if you didn't see the earlier Periscope, you probably can still grab it. I talked about how to position yourself as an influencer using LinkedIn. So really, Montana, use it to post articles and for networking your book. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you're doing long form posts. That's awesome. LinkedIn, I don't know if you all know this, but LinkedIn has recently in the past year, maybe it's probably more than a year now, has given us the ability to do long form posts, so blog-ish posts on LinkedIn. And so it gives you so much more reach than just posting something on your blog. I mean, I have a lot of followers and I tweet my blog posts I have a huge Twitter following, but when I post things to LinkedIn, it gets seen by a ton more people that wouldn't have seen it otherwise. So I repurpose my blog posts as long form posts on LinkedIn, gives me more reach, right? So I'm using the same content. I'm all about making this easy. I'm all about a strategy, putting together a plan and a step-by-step plan to make things easy and to leverage every piece of content that you have. So if you're writing blog posts, go ahead and repurpose that content and put it on LinkedIn, and it gives you another whole audience for that blog post. So I love that you're doing that, Grilling Montana, and I hope you're seeing some good results from your LinkedIn posts. I know I've gotten a lot of new LinkedIn followers or connections from doing those long form posts. I've been doing them pretty consistently every week. And again, if you're doing this content anyway for your blog, just find other ways to share that same content. It's the best way to market. It's not a shortcut. It's not, you don't have to create new content for every single platform. In fact, you will most benefit by that content that you work so hard to write if you find multiple platforms to share it on. Not everybody's going to see it on Twitter. Not everybody's going to see it on Facebook. And if they do, they saw it twice. Big deal, right? So repurpose your content. And by the way, while we're on that topic, I feel like this is just this long stream of consciousness today. While we're on that topic, when you think about your strategy to post on Facebook, do you do the same thing on LinkedIn? Do you have a strategy to go into LinkedIn every day and say, here's my latest blog post, or I'm going to be speaking at, the Chamber of Commerce tomorrow? Do you do that on LinkedIn? Or people have a strategy to make sure that there's regular posts on Facebook and Twitter and maybe even Instagram, but people don't do that on LinkedIn. So all you have to do is the same thing. You just go into LinkedIn and you create a post, and what it does, By posting on LinkedIn every day, or more often than never, it keeps your name in front of your followers, and that's what you want, right? You want to stay top of mind with the people that might hire you. So in addition to example of a strategy daily on LinkedIn, so what I do on LinkedIn every day is I turn on LinkedIn and I look to see if there's any connections I need to accept or deny. I pretty much can accept most of them, but I look to see if there's any connections. I look to see if there's any notifications I still need to do. I look to see on the right-hand top side, it talks about people you may want to be connected to. So I look to see if there's anybody of interest there that I might have missed, right, that I might want to connect to, because like I said, it's really important to keep growing your connections. Can you promote LinkedIn with Instagram? Absolutely. In fact, I have an Instagram account called LinkedIn Tips. Go follow it. It's called LinkedIn Tips. Officially as of today, it's restarted. I kind of took a little bit of I got lazy, really, and I stopped posting to it. But as of today, it's starting daily with new posts on there. So I post LinkedIn Tips every day on Instagram now. And the name of the Instagram account is LinkedIn Tips. But to go back to what my strategy is, I go in every day. I check to see what notifications I need to address. I check to see who I want to follow, and then I post something. I post something like, looking forward to going to the Mahwah Regional Chamber of Commerce event tonight, or, check out my latest blog post. And then I share that with some groups. I see what's happening in my groups. All of that takes 15 minutes maybe, and it keeps my name in the news feed for all of my followers. And that's what I want, right? I'm not being pitchy or salesy. I'm not saying buy my stuff. I'm just being of service, doing exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just being of service. I'm helping people out. I'm sharing, liking, and commenting on their posts. And then of course you want to have a strategy to make you some money, right? But the more you are of value to your followers on LinkedIn, the more they're going to come to you when they need to buy something. And the more you can keep your name in their news feed, the more likely that they're going to remember you when it comes time to buy something. Yes. So you just want to be a positive influence. There's nothing I talked about here today that says, and then you got to go pitch them, right? You might just make some new friends, but you never know which one of those connections is going to be that most powerful, great connection. I have a great example of I had a phone call with somebody one time, a strategy call, and she said that based on her listening to one of my webinars, she just connected with people. She connected with her medical doctor on LinkedIn. And she wrote him a recommendation, another nice be of service thing, right? So she wrote him a recommendation. When she went to see him the next time, he thanked her for the recommendation, right? Of course, now he remembers her, right? So he thanked her for the recommendation and then said to her, I never knew you were a health coach. She didn't pitch him and say, I'm a health coach, you're a doctor, she just wrote him a recommendation. By the time she left that medical appointment, they had an arrangement to do a workshop for his patients. So it's the more you can be of service and just let your profile do the work for you. Have a great profile, let it do the work for you, and then create and then be of service on there. So how often to post on Facebook, Twitter, etc. Brilliant Montana, I love that you think I'm brilliant. Not a lot of people do, so I'm glad that you do. That's another whole topic. I think once or twice a day on LinkedIn for 5 days a week is the most. You may want to pop in on a Saturday and Sunday and post also. Facebook, same kind of thing, a couple times a day. Twitter, a lot. Twitter, you got to post a lot. Like I say 20 times a day, and that you probably just fell off your chair, but that's another whole conversation. And if you keep an eye on Periscope, we'll talk about that. Maybe I'll make that the next kind of Q&A. We'll talk about Twitter. But 20 times a day is because Twitter's so fast moving. You need to post a ton on Twitter, but don't stress about it. Don't stress about it. Make it really easy for yourself. Reuse the same content, not at the same time. I don't want you to send the same post out to all 3 places, and I want you to repurpose the content so it makes sense on the individual platforms. But for sure, you want to share similar topics, similar pictures, similar stuff throughout the different platforms, just at different times of the day. So this was fun. Is there anybody else that has any questions? Or maybe we'll just wrap up for tonight. Connect with me on LinkedIn. If you liked this, when you connect with me on LinkedIn, feel free to write me a little recommendation on LinkedIn that says, I loved your Periscope episode on why we should use LinkedIn. If you go to my website, KarenYankovich.com, there's actually a free video series, the first 3 things you need to do on LinkedIn, and it's the videos of how to do them. The first video is how to get a personalized URL, and then I think the second one is how to do a great headline, and then the third one is how to use recommendations and endorsements. So go to my website and you can get those 3 free videos. They're fun, I think, and you can get started that way. All right, good to see you all tonight. I think I met some new friends here, which is why I love Periscope. And hopefully I'll see you guys again on the next one. And thanks for all the hearts and all the loving. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you soon. Have a great Friday night, everybody. TGIF. Enjoy your weekend. And thanks for hanging with me tonight. Bye.